is Ibrahim Massaw. I'm the president of the Senegalese nationals in the US. The way I will describe the Senegalese community in Harlem today is as being a very dynamic, a very successful community. Senegalese began to make a noticeable presence in Harlem in the early 1990s. Why Harlem? In Harlem because of the fact that Black African American was here in Harlem. And since they're Africans and they feel maybe being more comfortable next to the African American brothers and sisters, and maybe also our Harlem was more affordable back then.
My name is Fatima Diab. I go to Urban Assembly School for Young Women Business. I've lived in Harlem most of my life. When I was in Dakar, everybody lived like right there. So it's like over here, the Senegalese people, some people live in Brooklyn, some people live in New Jersey. So it's like it's hard to get around and see some of your family members.
ñoom ñaar ñëpp seen prix waaw ñoom ñaar ñëpp connexion yi baaxul te ñoom ñaar ñëpp 1660. My name is Mohammed and I came here, let's say 17 years ago. I came here, to get close to my community and be part of the community. Little Senegal is a great place to be because you have all the diversity of culture here. It's not just Senegal. You have like other countries, nationality, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Guinea. It's like a diversity of people here. It's wonderful.
Tijani community has their mosque in the east side. The Murid community first had their mosque on the west side, and the association is on 116th Street. It's a community that is thriving.
The most important thing about the Senegalese culture is it's basically like go to the mosque and stuff, like praying, and like on Eid, the celebration of like when we finish doing Ramadan, the morning when you wake up and go to the mosque, pray, and you see all your family members, like that's just a good feeling.
My name is Yamani Charles. I go to Merriman Down Friends School. I'm 16. So what I can tell you about Senegalese culture is that it's full of love, just love, 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 and family. Family is the most important thing. My father, he cares so much about everybody. Even if you're a stranger and if you're just coming into our home, you get the same amount of love. I guess you can say like there's no I when you're thinking about Senegalese culture. It's only we as a people and trying to help everybody.
My name is Juba. I was born in Senegal, born and raised there, up until I was 22. I am a home visitor. I mostly work with African families. I am also an after-school teacher at the New York French American Charter School. It's right on 120th Street between 8th and Manhattan Avenue. I have my grandmother and my aunts over there, but my mom and my dad and my sisters and brothers are here. My grandmother, she came here a year and a half ago and left. She didn't like it.
My name is Shina Sek. I go to Notre Dame School and I'm 16 years old. One thing I can tell you about the Senegalese culture is its value and its worth of giving to other people, and one of the pillars of faith is giving to people. So I understand how important it is to help each other, people who are not as fortunate or not as privileged as other people may be.
What is unique about Senegalese culture is quite a few things. One of the things is the teranga. You know that we have this concept or this philosophy in Senegal, which makes that people would like a lot to have guests and to receive foreigners in their concession, in their homes, in their families, and wherever you receive those people, you can have one meal and let them have it instead of you having it. And when they have it, it's like you enjoying this fact that they're having it more than you having it yourself.
When you wake up and you don't have something to eat, you could eat at anybody's house because we eat at a certain time. It's kind of like a general time for everybody to eat. You could just walk in somewhere and be like, I want to eat, and they will feed you.
Something else also that is unique is that's a country that is maybe 98 or 90, I would say 95% of Muslims and few Christians. The first president of the country was a Christian, and as of today, that's a country that have Islam that is very peaceful. Senegal has is one of the African countries that have successfully built a nation constituted by a lot of different ethnic groups, but still people are living peacefully.
Culturally, children in Senegal, the older people teach them. Here in school they have extracurricular activities, right? In Senegal they do have it, but a family who value their culture will take another route, teaching their children how to cook, how to sew by your hand, do artwork with your hands, rather than letting you, for instance, go play basketball. So they want to teach you first their values and culture.
It's a common knowledge that in Africa it takes a village to raise a kid. It's different here. Here you have to teach kids to be careful with others and not to talk to others, which is completely different. It's different the way you educate, the way you raise, the way you give values. All those factors make it a little bit challenging moving from one to another, moving from the Senegalese type, the Senegalese way of doing it, to the American way of doing it has been challenging, especially when people haven't had the support and the necessary support and education that is needed.
And coming over here without speaking English was a challenge. I said to myself, what the hell is going on? So I came in 2006, did some retail job for 6 months, and I still couldn't survive. I was like, no, this is not for me.
From my experience, many people feel that Senegalese people are, I guess, not as smart as Americans, and that's definitely not true. My father, immigrating to America, definitely struggled a lot with finding jobs and I guess finding his passion, because everywhere he went people just didn't believe in him and believed because he's a sub-Saharan African he couldn't make it in this society.
The perceptions about West Africa and Senegalese in particular are just inaccurate and are portrayed to make people think that Africa is in need of help, and though it is in need of help, it's also a place that's thriving in culture and civilization.
Our grandmothers, they teach you, because you know, like they're older, like the respect, like people that come from Senegal and come here, like they have respect, like respect for their elders. Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for people, and it's part of my culture actually, especially elder people, even children. So that's what we believe in. If you give respect, you get it back. So the way you present yourself to someone, perhaps that's how the person is going to present themselves towards you too.
People in Senegal live in community. You live in big houses, you live with big families. Here is different. It's like small families and you live in an apartment. You can live in a building and have your next door neighbors not talk to you and you don't know them. Whoever you meet in Senegal, you have to greet them.
Family was the difference between here and Senegal, and that sense of togetherness which I could not find in a way for a long period of time, up until I finished college and started my professional life. It was just, you know, it could be as simple as, for instance, you pass by and then you say hello to someone and they look at you like, what, do you know me like that? That was my first cultural shock. And in Senegal, when we saying hello, we tend to give hands. That's a sign of respect, like salute, right? So here it wasn't working. You cannot give out your hand to be like, hi. No, you just say it. That was a big big thing for me, but I bypass it as I grow here.
My culture is just amazing. Like the way I live, everything I do is by my culture. Like the way I was raised and the way they was raised was different. So I really couldn't relate to them like that.
I actually went to Senegal and visited family and studied with a lot of students. There, it's the complete opposite. These kids are really bright and really smart. They love math and science, and education is definitely embraced in a way that it is embraced in American society.
growing up in Senegal, and I went to school there as well. I did all of my high school years over there. We were on top of our education. Like, no one is responsible for your education but you. So therefore, you make sure you do it. Over here in America, the kids I teach, and I know, very laid back with the teaching system, and doing their homework, for instance, can be very challenging for them to do. I was a student advocate. I know what I'm saying. Where's the responsibility that parents are teaching their children to take on their education? It's tough. People don't share over here. They don't like to share. And I learned it from my own house because I have two siblings who were born here, born and raised over here. And when it comes to sharing, they don't necessarily share. And with my people, sharing is something that we know. We believe that it makes our community better,
Stronger.
and stronger, and it brings us together.
I wish I knew how to speak Wolof or speak French, because I feel like being bilingual or trilingual or having education in more than one language really helped me become more well-rounded in a way.
If your parents are from Senegal, in my view, I expect that child from that household to speak at least a little bit of Wolof. It might not be great, but know about it.
I'm not fluent in Wolof, and I feel like that's a language that it's imperative that I know that language, because I'm speaking another people's language. I'm speaking the European language of English, and I feel like as a part of growing up and being a young African man, I feel like it's important that I learn a word of mouth of my people. So that's definitely something that I wish I could learn, and I plan to in the future. So, like, if you're African American, you don't really connect with a lot of the Senegalese people, and I feel like that should be the complete opposite, because you can learn a lot from Senegalese people. You know, there's just so much rich culture that I feel like if African American people chose to embrace, they would learn so much about themselves and so much about their history and their culture that was kind of taken away from them during slavery. So
The Senegalese food or cuisine has been successful in different places, and one of the places that we have been more successful than anywhere else is in Harlem. We have, if you count today, a lot of Senegalese restaurants that are well known and very well implemented.
One way that I think relationships can be built or expanded between African Americans and Senegalese people is, especially in Harlem, where there is a community of Senegalese people and West Africans. There are a lot of restaurants and there are a lot of businesses or like hair salons that are in Harlem that are run by Senegalese people. Americans, we should support them and make sure that the black economy is thriving.
The Senegalese community in Harlem has changed in recent years. It used to be much bigger, but now since rents are higher and it's more difficult to find a place, it has kind of stretched. It's smaller. But also it has become, I would say, younger, because now we have people who are here have given, birth, they have families, they have had kids, and now the community is younger than it used to be. It's more now you will see people from, let's say, 10 to 20, and you will see people maybe from 60 and up. Gentrification is an issue today because it's something that destabilizes families. For years, we have Little Senegal, let's say 116th Street in Harlem as Little Senegal. It was a place where you can find Senegalese food, where you can find Senegalese condiments, where you can find Senegalese stores, where Senegalese businesses used to thrive, where Senegalese people was living. And with gentrification, we are losing all of that today. People are losing their apartments, and because they're losing apartments, they're moving somewhere else. And they used to be the market or the segment of market that used to support all those businesses.
I do keep my values. Yes, I'm here in a Western country. I try to grow as much as I can, but there are some things in my culture that keep me away from travel per se, I can say. Knowing where I come from and what I am aiming to do in life, I really try to balance it. You know, I guess judgment will tell, but I try not to lose what I have for myself, for me to survive in any place that I go to, knowing that you owe respect to anyone in life.
Because I am second generation American, wish I had more Senegalese values and more African values because I didn't grow up with that.
We need to stick together so we can be stronger. Yeah, that's the key. We need to stick together, and we're gonna be better, if we stick together.
Gentrification is an issue that is very hard to fix because it's like mini imperialists coming into your neighborhood, and in a few years, Little Senegal might not be here.